can I please invite on stage the Grammy and Academy Award winner, musician Mr. A.R. Rahman. Please come on up. And alongside the director of the movie 99 Songs, Mr. Vishwesh Krishnamurthy, and Mr. Ehan Bhatt. There's the handsome man over there.
Thank you for coming, and sorry for the delay. I'm super excited joining hands with Dolby. And the way we listen to music is changing every day. It was so high and it went down to MP3s. Now with Dolby, it's coming back again, where we will have lossless, uncompressed music with Dolby Atmos encoded audio. We are still in the process of inviting a lot of partners. You can explain about it. To probably get the streaming in this high definition, because that's been one request which has been coming to me for a long time. So we thought this movie is about music, it's about artists, it's about self-discovery. And this could be the first, initiation of Dolby Atmos in audio, in normal audio. We heard Dolby Atmos in the theaters, in home theaters and everything, but ordinary, maybe cell phones and CD players are not there anymore. But you can talk about
yeah. No, I think you're right, sir. I think the way we look at it, it all starts from the content. And I think, as I was just saying, the content has started today with 99 songs, and now we are hopefully going to our streaming partners to make sure that they take it to the devices, because there are millions of devices which are already available. But what we are going to do that till we have the services is that we'll have a lot of listening sessions for these songs as they are unveiled in the next few weeks. We'll have some screenings for about the songs. We'll make sure that wherever the global services are available, we hopefully take these songs there. So there'll be enough moments. We'll talk to our consumer electronic partners if they can take these songs and put them in their device at some point. So we will try to create moments where we can take these songs in its full glory from a cinema theater to the living room as well as on the smart devices. So hopefully the full spectrum will get enabled when we have the right streaming services in place. Yeah.
You want to talk about how we integrated sound design? That's Vishwesh Krishnamurthy.
Hi,
the
hi.
director of the movie.
Firstly, thanks everyone. It's a full house. That's really overwhelming. Thank you for coming, everyone. So I was 9 years old when I heard something that played out of a speaker. I think it was Tirira Tira at the time, and it was unbelievable what Indian music, like A.R. Rahman, actually showed us at that time. I didn't even know his name at the time, but you knew when his songs played because it made your sound system sound more expensive. And you knew that he had always been at the apex of sound technology, and to wind music within the narrative, not just as something that plays as a song in between the story, but actually to take the character and make him the musician. And so therefore the sound is as important as the camera when you're making the film. So not only has the technology been always right at the very pinnacle, we've been at the forefront of it because it's A.R. Rahman, but the story itself demanded that. So the music, the sound design, as well as the way things have been recorded and the way things are going to be played when you actually watch the film I think it pretty much is the best that it can get for Indian cinema. And for me, when I was 9 years old, that stuff sounded like, oh, this is the possibility of how Indian music can sound. And it was so international, and it felt like it was Hollywood standards. And what I have tried to do in this film is to make sure that the visual also matches up to the grandeur of his music. And I hope that our visuals are Atmos as well.
I want to take a moment to ask you, how did you decide to take this plunge? He had a vision, you had the music. How did you get this vision that I need to produce a movie now?
To actually just explore possibilities, because I've been blessed with so many great filmmakers and producers who came to me and extracted work from me, and I had benefited by their intellect, and as a team we produced so many albums. But then I felt like after going to Hollywood, why don't we do something and explore, go even more further? Because when a creative person thinks about a story or what could be done with music, it could get dangerous.
Absolutely. But a creative person producing a movie starts talking money, so that could also get dangerous, did it?
Exactly. Exactly. You could sell your house also sometimes, but
Oh my God, did it come to that?
hope it doesn't go there. We have to be super careful. And I have a lot of friends who would advise me, and we have a great team. And Vishwesh has done, he's a musician himself, and he's a filmmaker, and he has taken my vision much further and is extracted. I put him into deep trouble a lot of times. I've given him new faces, like Ehan has been shaped up by Vishwesh, and when you see the movie, you'll understand how he's acted, and it's amazing to extract something beautiful from new people and the legends like Manisha, Koirala, Lisa Lay, that stuff.
I want to take, sorry. Please go on.
Ishan.
Yeah, no, I wanted to take a moment to ask you. Yesterday, I heard you talk about how you were trained, and it sounded very grueling, your entire training and workshop session. Do you wanna divulge a little bit more about that?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here today. My name is Ehan, and I just finished shooting for this film recently. It's been an unbelievable educational learning process anyone can have in their lifetime. And I've realized not only what it is to be an actor, but to realize the importance of making movies and music every time I'm with him. His quest for learning is incredible. He's always hungry for more. He's always trying to push the boundaries. He's always trying to push the limits. I mean, he's phenomenal. When I got selected for the film, it was Rahman sir's idea to send me to Chennai to learn piano. So I went to Chennai to Rahman sir's KM Music Conservatory, and I was there trained for 1 year. It was an incredible process from transforming from just an actor to a musician. Because
you were not a musician at all before
No,
the
I didn't
training.
know anything. So it was because he wanted that authenticity of portraying a musician. He wanted that authenticity to be there. And there I learned piano for over a period of 1 year. It was incredible. Like being in Chennai, it never felt from home away from home, because the way they treated me, I would say he treats his son the same way like he treated me. And being with him for
So bad.
and being with him for associated with him, working with him for 3 years, it's like a dream come true. I realized apart from him being a great artist, he is a wonderful human being. He is my role model. And one great thing about him is he would talk to anyone in the same way. If it is a janitor or the anyone, if it's the richest of any guys, he talks to everyone in the same way.
Sounds like a very human first approach, really. Vishwesh, I want to ask you. He said that let's hire this boy, let's make him act, but also let's spend a whole year training him to become a singer, and that would have put piano. Sorry, so that would have put all your filmmaking plans. That would have halted them for at least a year. How did you feel about that?
No, actually, I didn't think anything stopped for a year. The thing is that I would rather a person not fake it when we're actually filming it, than because you use a lot of trickery often, even with stunts and things like that. So when it's about something as sensitive, and I mean, let's not make any mistake. It's A.R. Rahman getting into movies, so you can't fake the music there. That would be a cardinal error, So I don't think that there was any question about the fact that it was not just Ehan, but Ehan's the best friend in the film, a boy named Tenzin, who's sitting right there, was also.
Can you wave so we know who that friend is? Woo!
And
That
so
man
you'll see
over
him
there.
You'll see him on the trailer, what he does.
Yeah, so not only did they play buddies and bandmates in a film, so they literally bunked up together for a year. So they were living together for a year, being bandmates. He was learning drums and Ehan was learning piano. And I would frequently meet them and then try and, have lengthy conversations into the night about what it is like to play in a band and, what's that brotherhood like. So I think that it was a rare privilege to turn people into the characters that they're playing. So I was honestly, I'm really fortunate that he cited that idea, and we had the privilege of time. All filmmaking is actually a good film is a good film because they plan things well, and he gave us 1 more year to plan. So I think it was a privilege. I never thought of it as an impediment at all.
So how would you think of yourself to be as a producer? Were you hands-on? Were you on the sets? Were you on his head? What kind of a producer are you?
I mean, it's like being reborn as a freshman. Because, as a musician, when I started, I was already 10 years experienced because I started at the age of 12, 13. So 10 years in the movie industry felt like 40 years. Playing, composing, and all this stuff. But here, I feel like I'm so new because the tone used to be speaking to everybody, probably a distributor or a person. It can't be passive. It has to be aggressive at the same time, not losing it. And what is your question?
What kind of a producer you are?
Okay.
So you're answering it,
okay,
really.
so yeah, exactly. So what happened was Karan Grover, who was big an inspiration for me to jump into this, all his fault. And Sharda. So they first came in, what have you done, sir? I said, what happened? You have a new director, you are a new writer, and you have a new hero, and then your budget is like Akshay Kumar budget or something. I said, but you won't get the returns. So I said, like, why not? Yeah, that's how it is. So they just crunched it and crunched it and crunched it. And I said, no, I can't make compromises. So they were torturing him. And he would ask for something big and they will give him something. But you never notice it. You see the scale of the movie is from the trailer. So I knew that when some important scenes have to be expanded, I'll go and stand there, and then the executive producer look at me. Please don't do this. Please don't make it 4 days. We have only 1 day, and then it'll make 4 days or 5 days. So those I will go and stand, and they'll come back again for them to torture him.
The mathematics would change if he's around. If he's not
The
around, it's
numbers
too
would
real,
explode.
Yeah, because those are the scenes which need that love. Not that every scene needs love, but it's an art between commercial and creative stuff. If you go too creative, you have to sell all your property. And so my wife was looking at me. What are you doing? And she was a great support sitting here. My daughters, they've come.
She has a palm on her face like that. She's like, please don't involve me in this.
Yeah, but it's such an exciting. It is the first attempt, and I hope we've probably within all the limitations we've done our best. I think, right? So it's you to judge. First song is going to launch. So before that, let's see the
YM logo. Yeah, hi, go for it.
Hi. Congratulations, Vishwesh, Rahman sir and Ehan. The trailer looks really nice. I have two questions. First is, why was the film named 99 Songs? And it's quite a different title for a film. So that'll be the first one.
Good question. It's like a fairy tale. The idea of this thing came when I was high up in the sky on the Emirates flight to LA. And I was thinking, why don't we do a story like a fairy tale where what if a guy has to compose 100 songs to get a girl? And then I said, 100 is a big number. Maybe make it 99. and then you'll know about what happens to the other song once you watch the movie.
Great.
And because we have many things, like you have to beat this guy, kill this guy, and you'll get my girl, or you have to destroy this, or you want to, it's all negative. So I was thinking, what if you take music and make, or you have to climb this mountain to do this. So why can't it be a song? Because as a composer, I feel like sometimes, you get songs easily. Sometimes you have everything, but you don't even get an idea. And it's torture. It's very humiliating within yourself to not get that perfect idea. We go through that. All creative people go through that stuff. The biggest and the smallest. You see the biggest filmmakers getting humiliated, and the biggest musicians getting humiliated because band releases an album and then nobody likes it, and it's not as good as your previous thing. So you constantly being tested, and so the work which is needed is not just physical. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's psychological. And I wanted that pain to be understood by normal, I wouldn't say normal, like everyone. So that's what.
My second question is, in India, we've seen almost a lot of films with songs. And this one's called a musical, right? What do you see, what's the future of a musical in India, and how do you think we can kind of differentiate a normal film to a musical and then kind of put it out in the market?
I think this film has come in the right time. Now, whole of last year I've been hearing people complaining, why are the remixes coming? Why is so much of rap happening? And so all of them are good, but when it crosses the limit, it becomes an irritation. And so this movie coming this year is probably the best time we ever imagined. So we are very lucky. And it also depends on the support people are going to give. Because people are always complaining there's no original songs. We have 14 tracks or 15 tracks in this album. Let's see how well they receive it. And that encouragement would force us to do even more beautiful music and make even more beautiful movies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. My wife is saying from her. So yes, she did. She started writing stories, and they were very, very sad stories. So I said, "Why do you want to write sad stories?" So I wanted to go opposite. The inspiration actually. What is the question again? Sorry.
So the question was that you've written it, but what was your source of inspiration for the story?
So
Emirates flight.
Emirates flight. No, actually, the one line came very easily. In probably 10 minutes, the story came in. And I was taking a course in private screenwriting. So that gentleman, Gabriel, he said, let's take your own story as a case study and let's see what's not there in it. And then we were trying to delve deep within it. And then we found what could happen. And so the story came in. And then I was trying to find a director. And then somebody told me, try this guy, he's amazing. And so I saw his stuff, and he was as crazy as me. And so we spoke on Skype. I was in LA, and we spoke. And he has his own zone. It's indie, and he's very forward-thinking. But I'm a very commercial person. So we've had this tug of war constantly. And don't go to talk, come here. And so it is a balance you should see. And all the classy stuff is his stuff. All the masala is mine.
रहमान जी, हाय, संजय मिश्रा फ्रॉम नवभारत टाइम्स ऑनलाइन. म्यूज़िक के सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट आपके काफ़ी करीब हैं, लेकिन पियानो से आपके दिल के सबसे ज़्यादा करीब है, ऐसा मैं देखता आया हूँ आपकी बातों में भी. और आप हमेशा से अदनान सामी के साथ भी कुछ जुगलबंदी करना चाहते थे. इस फिल्म से मेरे को पियानो फिर से एक बार आ गया दिमाग में. तो वो कभी हम देख पाएंगे आपकी और अदनान की जुगलबंदी, क्योंकि पियानो आपके दिल के सबसे ज़्यादा करीब है.
Sure, absolutely. Adnan is a fine player. He's got a heavy Indian classical bass. So his style is very Indian classical, which is phenomenal. And maybe in the future we will do something together.
अगर आप वो इनके केएम कंजर्वेटरी स्कूल में आप 2 दिन बिता देंगे ना, तो आप भी पियानो बजाने लग जाएंगे.
नहीं, मुझे भी बहुत पसंद है.
Yes.
Yeah, Rahman sir. Yeah,
Ji,
yeah.
ji, ji, ji.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations. The Jwalamukhi song is awesome. It's very
Thank you.
inspiring. Sir, in Bollywood, we have instances of directors, composers who are also film directors. So here you become a producer. You've done the story and you composed the music. When do we see A.R. Rahman sir as a movie director?
Direction means
So
giving up.
can I take that question?
No, let me finish.
That's what I'm saying. 2D technology is too obsolete for Mr. A.R. Rahman. Okay, so A.R. Rahman has written and directed something, but it's in virtual reality. And I'm not making jokes. I'm genuinely saying that it is possibly the most important cinematic experience that India has endeavored to do. And it involves not just the visual, but also the olfactory, which means the sense of a scent, which is smelling, as part of the experience. So the rest of it, I'll let you take. So 2D is too obsolete. Well, this flat, rectangular viewing, ये तो पुरानी चीज़ है sir.
मतलब इस एक्सपीरियंस में हम स्मेल को भी एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
I can't. I don't know what this is.
So, I think, the achievements in 2D cinema is so great that if I begin now, I will never be able to compete. So we have Anand Rai here, we have Rumi, we have Boni Kapoor here. All my friends have come in. And Himanshu's here. Mukesh Chabra is here. So I thought, let's take a new path. So nobody's there and that road is free. It's easier that that's why. We did a festival in Busan. We got great standing ovation, and I had left, and then the next two screenings they had a lot of fans. People wanting, if you can go on the internet.
Ehan had fans.
And this is a very, I would say, a very feel-good movie. It's not an art film. So to be very clear, it is for all the people in the world, all the people in India. So I'm not pitching it as an art film because it has got all those we need for
Masala elements.
That's me.
Hello, yeah. Rahman sir, you've been a Grammy Award winner. Your world knows you, all over world knows you as a music director. Now you have come as a producer here. Are you planning to launch, release your movie worldwide?
That's the hope. And because Geo is involved and they have the plans, whatever we do, they come up with the plans. So we're just like students waiting for them to always say the magic word. And they've been great so far, and I hope they push it up and take your suggestion seriously.
Yeah. So you've been working with all the best of the directors, producers, and you have given your music to best of the heroes. So what made you to take all the newcomers in this movie?
When you're doing something new, you don't want to be judged. So when you take newcomers, it's easier to bully them.
You blame it on me.
I bet Ehan would have also asked the same question. Why me?
I don't think
No, I wouldn't ask that.
The first couple of days, I don't think he was still in disbelief, saying, "Am I shortlisted? इसके बाद कुछ task करना पड़ेगा तो फिर उसके बाद choose होगा." So yeah, so I think even I don't know why he did it. I think it's because usually Emirates के flight पे air pressure कम हो जाती तो आदमी impulse पे decisions ले लेते. But I'm not complaining, and I never questioned it the moment it happened.
I'll tell you what happened was, you were looking for a hero who can sing, who can play, and who's charming, who can act. So we were scanning everything, and our friend goes to Pakistan, and he picks up three guys from Pakistan, and I said, why you can't find any boy in India who can sing? And no, sir, this guy in Pakistan, he sings and he plays very well. I said, what if something happens between India and Pakistan? This is before all the trouble happened. And I said, this is my first movie, yaar, don't make problem for me. And exactly same thing happened now. So I'm so glad that I was. And then we were like, go back to the auditions. And who's this guy? And I was just looking at him, and not as performing, just the face. Like, this guy looks like the next Batman. So I said, this is him. And he said, you're giving me more trouble now. So like, yeah.
No, usually what happens is, आप कोई दुकान से भी प्रोडक्ट लेते हो, आप देखते हो और फिर देखते हो, बाद में आपको पता चलता है अच्छा ये मेड इन इंडोनेशिया है, मेड इन चाइना है, मेड इन इंडिया है. तो जो एक्टर मैंने मतलब हम व्हाट वी वर लुकिंग फॉर अ म्यूजिशियन टू कास्ट, and the ones that seem to have diction, Hindi diction was good, and they were able to play instruments, just happened to not be from India. But so again, it's not like मैं बोला देखो पाकिस्तान से ही लेते, ऐसे कुछ नहीं था. They just happened to be from there. But at the end of it, I think Ehan more than made up for all of our initial choices. I have to say that he really grew into his role. First of all, him and Tenzin living together in Chennai as roommates and going to KM Conservatory.
Tenzin should come here. Come, Tenzin.
Show your face, Tenzin.
Turned them from, they were actors before and then they became musicians. So none of the piano and drumming scenes are pretended. They're actually playing their parts. And So I think that his intuition was way better than mine was at the beginning. So that's Tenzin.
So you want to talk about your experience with KM?
No pressure on these guys, is it?
Hello, everyone. So I spent nearly a year in KM Conservatory, and then I used to train for like about 8 hours a day. And then I didn't take Sundays off as well. And then there was a time when, can I tell them? Okay, so there was a time when I didn't have a drum kit for a very long time, like for the first 2 months, right? And the drum room, there was one drum room, and then there were like so many players there, and then you could only book it for like 30 minutes. So I decided one night to climb the roof of KM Conservatory and go inside. I wrote a mail to Sir before, but Sir was like, yeah, go forward, okay, you'll get to practice. So I decided to jump off the roof. And then somehow the principal, who happens to be Sir's sister, she sees the clip and she calls me to her room the next day. And then she was like, you did something, no? I'm like, yeah, because like I hardly get in time, and then I left my academics to be a drummer, so I really need to get into the skin of the character. So yeah, that happened.
Break any rules?
He didn't tell anybody that Tenzin did that.
Yeah, actually, he's right. So everyone, I'm from Kashmir, and I always wanted to be in films. And it was like, I think 4 years back when I shifted to Bombay, and I met this incredible casting director, Mukesh Chhabra. And he believed in me. Like every time I would go to his office, and he would say like, it felt like he had an intuition about me that I would end up somewhere in Bollywood. And one day I get a call for the film, and I got shortlisted, and rest is the history. I'm here.
So, Rahman sir, can we see you in this movie?
I tried, but ये shoot date देते नहीं है. So I really tried. I tried very hard to put him in the frame.
Which character specifically did you have? in
As
mind for him?
himself.
Oh.
As himself. He could have just been the lighting the scene. But anyway, I really wanted him to be in there
I
somewhere.
have my music there. So.
But we weren't able to manage that, no.
All right, before we start assuming that maybe Rahman sir danced also, so can we have another question from this side, please?
Yeah, I am composing already. Yeah, it is in 2 parts. It's called Ponniyin Selvan. It's based on a book, and it's a very, very tough movie to compose. Yeah, we're doing a lot of research, and I think we finished 2 songs now.
99 songs included. Has this been your toughest project? I mean,
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because usually while composing, you have a director who's very experienced. There's a beautiful lyric writer. There's a producer too. And we sit and then we kind of jam and get a tune. But here I'm the writer. So the writer is doing something which the producer doesn't like, which is me again. And when we both like, he doesn't like it. So almost each song was done 3-4 versions. 3-4 versions, I think. Different tunes sometimes, and arrangements have changed. Till 3 months back, a lot of things were changing. And now it's all frozen.
so it was essentially you against yourself more often than
Yeah,
not.
it was very, very exhausting. But beautiful.
Well, I can't reveal too much about it. But I'll tell you that there's something that that we try to do in this film is that there is a sense of grace and guidance that like me as an audience member, I've grown up watching people like Manisha Koirala on screen, and when you actually meet her in person, particularly when I'm in the position of a director and I meet her as an actor in the film, I still see her as a force, someone that's been an entity within the Hindi film industry or the Hindi storytelling, realm. And we used that kind of grace and that kind of seniority for her to be a kind of a quote-unquote guide, or someone that provides that kind of guidance or maternal grace in the film. Because she is that way in person as well. Like, if you do meet her, you will sense that this is a person who's lived an incredible life and has an enormous amount of wisdom and that exactly the two words, which is maternal grace. And it was easy because she comes with it. And the minute she stands in your frame, you hardly need to give her any lines. It already sort of scintillates. So I merely nudged the lines out of her, and the rest of it was her presence itself.
I have a question for you, sorry. Firstly, congratulations. I think it's a fantastic start to Dolby.
Thank you.
What I want to know is, one, share your experience of collaborating with 99 Songs, and two, what is in pipeline for the firm now?
Yeah. So I think first of all, as I said, it's really a momentous occasion for us to have Rahman sir's album in Dolby Atmos music. So that's a start, and we hope that this ignites the industry and helps and opens up the industry as well, and people actually get inspired with this and create more songs and more music as we move forward in this format. Because I mean, if you take Dolby Atmos as a format from a cinematic perspective, over the last 5 or 6 years or probably slightly more, since we launched here, there are a number of screens, over 700 screens like this, over 700 titles already. But when we started, it was, one at a time, and that's how we grew. So we hope that after today, people really get inspired with this and create their songs and music in Dolby Atmos.
I would also encourage each and every one of you to, right after this, we can head to the Dolby Atmos Music mobile demo zone in the lounge area, where you can actually experience this song in the Dolby Atmos fashion.
Yeah, so
Mr. Rahman, there's a
speaking
question.
Speaking about Dolby Atmos, I wanted to understand how has it enhanced your music making capability, and how do you say that the next era of the music has arrived, and how does it create a user experience for us?
I think instead of me telling, you should listen to it, because what it does is encodes all these different vibrations and dimensions of the sound into stereo, into 2 tracks. And so the stereo doesn't sound like stereo anymore. It's much more expanded. And because we are desensitized by so much of content coming in, I think it's important to put sound up a notch, and Dolby Atmos is just doing that. And
Great. So while creating the music, did you have any special
Yes.
experience? Yeah.
Yeah, there are more tracks and more ambiences, which is usually panned to the surrounds, and all that is going to come encoded in stereo. So you don't need multiple speakers, and you'll feel that in the stereo.
Mr. Rahman, Abira, you're from the Quint. I wanted to ask you, why did you choose to make the film in Hindi and not in Tamil?
Why not?
Wife loves Hindi.
Pleasure is all mine, but just a question.
Because Hindi, I'm from South, it's very easy for me to make a Tamil film. And the story somewhere is, I felt like, pan-Indian and not just South-centric. And it could work it is working because we dubbed, and it doesn't even look like dubbing because a lot of people saw it and felt it's like a native Tamil film or Telugu film. And because when you do in Tamil and when you dub in Hindi, it shows that it's a South Indian film. But here, it's more universal, and it's a story, and the settings could be anywhere. And yeah.
Also, I think that it took a year for Ehan to learn piano. It would have taken a lot more for him to learn Tamil. So I think that's.
All right, we'll be entertaining just one more question. There's only room for one more.
Rahman, sir, this is Ravi from
Yes.
ABP News.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry. There was already a question coming through.
Sorry.
Rahman, sir, this is Ravi from ABP News. From Rosa to 99 Songs, you have achieved everything in life. You have got a Grammy Award, you have got 2 Oscars. Is there something more to like you think of achieving or you desire to achieve?
Yeah, the success of this movie.
Yeah. Woo! On that very note, I guess we can close the question answer set. All right. One person, yes. One more.
YM is initials which my spiritual teacher gave me for Baraka, and it's been really good. And we've been doing this movie as per, it doesn't look like a new, for me, I think it doesn't look like a new person making it. It looks like, that's what people have told me. Thanks. Really? I think it's my stylist sitting here. My wife.
Wife is the stylist. All right, here's wishing the movie, the song, the trailer a very, very good luck. Good luck to the team. Woo! All right, thank you so much for coming in, everybody. Can we give a huge round of applause to 99 Songs?